Jon Favreau and Disney Plus have added perhaps one of the best additions in a very long time to the Star Wars canon with The Mandalorian. The series has already thrown Star Wars fans around the world some serious curveballs in just 3 episodes.
You're very special, kid.
As well as prompting them to ask some questions that many fans still haven't even considered. Hey there cinephiles, here to look for the next best movies to watch or to know amazing things about your favorite movies? Well then, you're in the right place. Welcome to Pop Z, where you can find all the cinematic details you need. Today, we have our picks for the 10 interesting facts about The Mandalorian you should know. But before that, make sure to drop a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Make sure to stay till the end to know our take on your favorite movies. Before in time, the season gets any further along, here are some details from Star Wars that The Mandalorian fans might need to know before watching another Disney Plus hit series. With the aid of the canon of Star Wars and legendary data, let's delve into some information that will help viewers understand The Mandalorian better.
I am your father.
Behold, there may be some spoilers up ahead for the first 3 episodes of The Mandalorian.
Bringing you in won't just make me a member of the guild?
Let's dive right in. 10. Foundlings. Mandalorians have a long history of not only saving but fostering children. As bizarre as it may sound to the Mandalorians, who from here on out will be referred to as Mando, to sacrifice so much to save the wee baby Yoda from the Empire's clutches. As the series mentions quite early on, Mando is considered to be a foundling who is a young child who has been orphaned by war and taken into the care of the Mandalorian clan. While orphans are often taken care of by Mandalorians to further their line and do a good deed, they typically take only orphans who have shown not only a willingness to live, but a willingness to fight. 9. The Pretenders. While legends could paint a different picture, 2 of the most famous Mandalorians are not, in fact, Mandalorians at all according to the Star Wars canon, while according to the Mandalore government, Boba and Jango Fett may be 2 of the most prominent Mandalorians ever to have joined the Star Wars canon. Jango Fett is merely a pretender, someone who either stumbled upon a dead Mandalorian and stole his armor or killed the Mandalorian and stole his armor. In any case, the fact that Jango Fett is not a real Mandalorian leads to the realization that Boba Fett, probably the most known Mandalorian is the canon of Star Wars, is not really a Mandalorian either.
Hello there.
8. The new Mandalorian government. Not only was VISZLA able to bring peace to the long-warring Jedi and Mandalorians with his tremendous power in the military and his famous Darksaber, but he was also able to unite the Mandalorians under one government. This government preferred to concentrate on diplomacy and brokering a peaceful life rather than concentrating on expanding the Mandalorian Empire. Although this new cause was embraced by many of the Mandalorians and worked to advance it, many were still held to their Mandalorian warrior roots. They decided to challenge their government instead, which would inevitably lead to their exile. 7. The wee baby Yoda species. While the Mandalorian has already asked so many questions, maybe the wee baby Yoda will be surrounded by one of the most urgent. Not only are fans unsure of who the baby yodeling came from, but more than that, there's no real response as to where his species as a whole may have come from. In fact, at the time of the Mandalorian release, there were only 2 other members of his genus. 6. Mandalorians versus the Jedi. The Mandalorians and the Jedi Order have waged several disputes. When they clashed with the Force-wielding Jedi, whose skills they did not understand, the Mandalorian-Jedi War saw the development of Mandalorian technology. In response, their arsenal and armor were built to battle them, and as a result, they started to win frequently. During their crusades, the Mandalorian Crusaders fought against the Jedis. Mandalore the Great waged a series of fights against the Jedi, according to legend. War was also fought against the Old Republic by the Mandalorians. During its collapse, House VISZLA members reclaimed the Darksaber, a unique lightsaber created after the passing of its maker by TAARE VISZLA, the first Mandalorian ever inducted into the Jedi Order from the Jedi Temple. The Mandalorians converted Concordia, the moon of Mandalore's homeworld, into a mining base before the Mandalorian Jedi War. For thousands of years, the Mandalorians and Jedis have been battling a feud ever since the Old Republic. While the Mandalorians were initially totally overpowered by the Jedi, who used what Mandalorians perceived a foreign magic, or the Force, new weapons and techniques were gradually created and helped them battle the Old Republic's Jedi. The armor built will not falter under the lightsabers of the Jedi. They created weapons that were more suitable for removing the Force-wielding Jedi, and they finally found themselves on an even footing with their enemy. 5. The Exiles. While many of the war-weary Mandalorians under their influence were able to wrangle with the new Mandalorian government, there was also a divide between the ranks. The Mandalorians who kept the Mandalorians' old warfaring ways were considered the faithful, and the new government was subsequently considered the faithless. Ultimately, this infighting will lead several factions to abandon the Mandalorian homeworld and set up off-world factions. The Death Watch, who during the Clone Wars would later side with Count Dooku, would help turn the tide of wars in the Empire's favor. 4. The Mandalorian Empire. Narratively, 5 years after the event of Return of the Jedi, the Mandalorian is set. The Empire was vanquished. However, it was not exactly a peaceful transfer of power that was formed.
Look outside. Is the world more peaceful?
The client, Werner Herzog, was clearly loyal to the Empire, but he was perhaps underfunded and somewhat alone. As the Mandalorians are often regarded as a warrior race, they started to set their sights on the galaxy around them once they settled into their new homeworld and base of operations. Known as the Mandalorian Crusaders, the talented Mandalorian warriors began to reach out to neighboring planets to extend the Mandalorian Empire. 3. Beskar Steel. The Mandalorian made sure to demonstrate the significance of the Beskar Steel with their premiere of the episode, which Mando would later be compensated with when the wee Baby Yoda was delivered. Many fans, however, might have left their heads scratching and wondering just what Beskar Steel is and why it was so significant.
I still don't understand what happened.
The meaning of stealing Beskar is something that cannot go understated as far as the Mandalorians go. Not only is this steel strictly found on the Mandalorian homeworld, Mandalore, it's also one of the best few minerals that can be made into an armor that can deflect blaster fire and lightsabers. 2. TAARE, VISZLA, and the DARKSABER. Before 1019 BBY, the DARKSABER was an ancient and distinctive black-bladed lightsaber developed by TAARE VISZLA, the first Mandalorian ever inducted into the Jedi Order. Following VISZLA's death, the weapon was held in the Jedi Temple, but House VISZLA members stole the saber during the collapse of the Old Republic in a conflict with the Jedi. The Darksaber was passed down generation after generation by pre-VISZLA's ancestors, who held onto the weapon after what the modern Mandalorians' pacifist values replaced Mandalore's warriors' ways. Although the Mandalorians were initially confused and intimidated by the magic which seemed to be used against them by the Jedi, they would eventually develop to resolve it. A Force-sensitive Mandalorian called TAARE VISZLA would eventually be born and alter the path of the long-running war as they invented technologies and weapons to defeat their new opponents. While many fans may believe that under the circumstances, a Force-sensitive Mandalorian born would lean towards the dark side, TAARE VISZLA would ultimately turn into a Jedi himself. VISZLA will also help usher in a new era and a new government for the Mandalorian people with the aid of his legendary Darksaber. 1. Mandalore the First. While the Mandalorians are often known as nomadic species without any real leader or government, this was not always the case, though it is a pattern that has been repeated time and time. Mandalore, the first official chief of the Mandalorian species, is regarded as the first. In reality, as readers may have recognized, the Mandalorian homeworld was not only the first to be named after Mandalore, the man who actually conquered the planet for the Mandalorians, but the species as a whole would also take his name. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. Alright folks, there you have it, 10 interesting facts you need to know about the Mandalorian. Isn't Baby Yoda the cutest of all? Do let us know which scene you like the most from the series. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting topics like this. Until next time, sayonara!